Welcome back to another lesson with Mr. B. Today we're going to learn about formalism, or the formalist lens. This lens is pretty literal. It's used to analyze the form or structure of something. So for example, with Netflix's show Rhythm and Flow, as we see in this GIF over here, where the rapper D-Smoke, he premiered his song and music video, Let Me Go. The video and the lyrics itself play with form, as we could visually see here. Like he's riding a bike, he's rapping, and like he's also rapping the back. He's rapping standing, but then he's riding the bike. And even more than just the visual component of it, in the song, he rhymes lyrics itself between Spanish and English. And the translations itself also rhyme, which is like a deeper, multi-layered level of what the formalist lens could be. So the formalist lens, in its root word, first relates to form. It's a structured shape that we can use to make associations. And secondly, it's a set of conventions or accepted practices in writing. So this is basically pointing towards poetry. Basically, just like this definition, here are some of the things that you might analyze using the formalist lens. Some methods could be interactions of words, like particularly word choice, why you chose to use these certain phrases or certain vocabulary to describe whatever it is you're talking about or whatever it is you're reading. Figures of speech, symbols, along with the author's choice in structure and style. A formalist lens can also be applied to music, works of art, or even film, where you analyze the artistic choices made by a musician, producer, artist, or movie director. Just like the definition of this lens, here are some of the things that you would analyze with the formalist approach. For a book, poem, or short story, you might look at some of the images that are conjured up as you read. You know, using your imagination, what was the author kind of evoking as you were reading that text? How would you describe the tone or mood of the piece? For writing, how does structure add meaning? So you could really be looking at sentence length, the sequence of events, how long a text or a poem is, or how long song lyrics are. For film, you might look at the director's choices and how they add meaning, from length to the timing of shots, colors, lighting, costuming, dialogue, so on and so forth. Maybe for artwork, you might look at the author's choices, from the colors, tones, and values, the shapes or the composition and the content that they use in that piece of artwork. In terms of literal form itself, what kind of art is it? Is it sculpture? Is it painting? Is it photography, illustration? Those are all obviously different forms. And then again, for music, with lyrics, along with the music itself, is there meaning? I think often when I come to formalism or poetry, I often think of like J. Cole or Kendrick, just because their lyrics, and like D-Smoke, for example, they're super intricate. There's a lot of metaphorical use in there. There's a lot of hidden meanings in their writing. And I feel like that goes for any music artist, but I feel like that's a huge thing for formalism, because they're playing with this idea of rhyme and rhythm and words all at once. And then lastly, for the author's choice, what's the structure or style that they're writing in? And how does that play a role or make meaning for the viewer or reader? Sometimes books, if you've ever read like a choose your own adventure book, how would you analyze that book with this formalist approach? The author clearly has an intention for you choosing your own adventure in this book. Why did they choose to write it that way when they could have just written any normal novel? I hope that brings some clarity to the purpose and the utility of the formalist lens. It specifically looks at the structure or intention of any writing or art. In this case, with literature, how a novel is structured, the way the words are formatted, the font, the length of a sentence, down even to the punctuation that they use. How does that affect the story that you're reading or the experience you have when reading or consuming art? If you haven't already, make sure to complete the reading and respond to the question assignment on Google Classroom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.